Kingdom Hearts 3 ended on the biggest cliffhanger, as many questioned what would become of Sora and all that. There have been hints, of course, but fans do know he's been sent to a city based on Shibuya, otherwise known as Quadratum. Answers could still be quite a ways away, but fans have gotten their first official look at the next Kingdom Hearts game. During the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event, a new trailer debuted confirming 2 new games in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. The first is a mobile game called Missing Link. The second is a real shock, given how far and few between the mainline titles are, as it the new mainline entry simply titled Kingdom Hearts 4. According to Square Enix's press release, this is the beginning of a new Lost Master arc for the series. It sees Sora waking up in Quadratum, which a young woman describes as both a city full of life and an afterworld for those like them, and having to face a giant Heartless there. It seems 7 days have passed overall since his arrival. The Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer also opens by saying that if someone isn't happy with an ending, then they can leave this world for another. However, it also ends by saying if they leave this world, then they can't expect to return to the one they came from. There is a brief glimpse of gameplay of Sora zipping up to the massive Heartless, running up buildings, and more fancy footwork. It shows him seemingly deflecting an attack, while also using big, almost drill-like moves with his iconic Keyblade. Donald and Goofy appear after the Kingdom Hearts 4 title is revealed, and it seems like they are perhaps looking for someone who can help. A blue flame is seen, but the identity of whom they are looking for is not confirmed by the trailer. Presumably, however, whoever it is may help them find Sora following Kingdom Hearts 3's ending. Kingdom Hearts 3 ends on a somber note. Sora faces off one last time against Master Xehanort at Scala ad Selim, finally putting an end to the saga. After the battle, Sora uses his power of waking in order to save Kairi, who was turned into a crystal and shattered during the fight. This power comes at a cost though, as Sora sits with Kairi a final time and disappears soon after. Kingdom Hearts 3 wraps up the story arc that was set in motion from the first game. It was known upon release that KH3 would not be the final game in the franchise, so a large cliffhanger is the easiest way to set up a new, looming threat for Sora and friends. The very end of Kingdom Hearts 3 reveals Quadratum, 3 years ahead of the gameplay trailer for KH4. The city's realistic, darker tone seems to signify a true new chapter for the series. Interestingly enough, Quadratum is the home to another character from KH3. Yozora, from the in-universe video game Verum Rex, is shown to be real and living here during the same ending scene. The fact that this video game is not fictional after all raises even more questions, adding to Quadratum's mystery. Quadratum may have only been teased with Kingdom Hearts 3's ending, but it is shown in full force with KH4's reveal trailer. Unlike the rest of Kingdom Hearts worlds, which are either Disney-themed or original and fantasy/sci-fi themed, Quadratum appears to be completely modern. In fact, it heavily resembles Tokyo, down to the katakana written on the street signs. Quadratum is complete with dozens of cars, highways, and skyscrapers, the furnishings of any major city. Sora and the gargantuan Heartless that is wreaking havoc stick out like a sore thumb. Despite looking like a normal, modern city, Quadratum is full of mystery. The new character who greets Sora upon waking up describes it as full of life, but an afterworld for the two of them. This alone has tons of implications, such as Sora needing to have potentially died to arrive here, and that this new character is originally from Sora's world as well. Sora is clearly alive and kicking, so Quadratum may serve more like purgatory, though the reason it takes the form of modern Tokyo is unknown. Lastly, it is a mystery why or how Quadratum holds the secret for Sora to return home. It is clear that Sora needs to grow here in order to succeed, despite being more alone than ever. Well, Sora is alone in regard to allies. On top of the Heartless that appears to terrorize the city, the end of the trailer shows some hooded figures that resemble Organization 13. One states that Sora should not expect to return to his world upon leaving Quadratum behind. There is clearly some secret to Quadratum, and Sora is not the only one after it. Kingdom Hearts 4 marks the start of the series' next chapter. Finally free from its 20-year story arc, Quadratum is the perfect setting to take the story in a new, darker direction. Organization 13 is seemingly up to no good once again, so Sora has his work cut out for him if he ever hopes to return home. The Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer ended with Donald and Goofy searching for someone that they think might be able to help them. The target of their search is unclear, as is their overarching goal. As they walk through the pitch dark guided by Donald's glowing wand, a blue light appears behind the pair. Hades' voice rings out, "Hey, just where do you think you're going?" Donald and Goofy turn to see an off-screen fire blaze, frightening them. That's where the trailer ends. It's clear that Hades, the villain of the Disney film Hercules and longtime antagonist in the Kingdom Hearts games, has a role to play in Kingdom Hearts 4. But there are a number of questions that pop up due to his inclusion in the new trailer. Fans question whether Hades is who Donald and Goofy are looking for, and why they do that. Hades could also be standing in the way of Goofy and Donald, preventing them from finding who they're looking for too. The last time Kingdom Hearts fans saw Hades, he was defeated with relative ease by the joint forces of Sora, Donald, Goofy, Hercules, and Zeus. Hades is trying to take over Olympus with the power of the Titans, but is otherwise uninvolved in Kingdom Hearts 3's overarching story. Regardless, he's a fan-favorite antagonist, and there's hope he has a larger role in Kingdom Hearts 4. That Square Enix would choose to end its Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer with a Hades tease is perhaps indicative of how much faith the company has in him as a villain. Square Enix clearly believes just teasing Hades' voice will be enough to get fans excited for more Kingdom Hearts. Without a doubt, Square Enix surprised fans the world over when it officially announced Kingdom Hearts 4. No release date was given, but hopefully, the confidence to show some gameplay of Kingdom Hearts 4 now means that it won't be that long of a wait. The trailer shows Sora fighting a huge Heartless in Quadratum, a new world that is some form of afterlife for Sora. Before that though, the trailer shows some glimpses of the wilderness. What's clear is that this doesn't match with Kingdom Hearts 4's Quadratum area, leaving many to wonder what this could be. Since Sora is separated from Donald and Goofy, it could be that he has access to brand new worlds, and a lot of people are thinking that this wilderness is none other than Ender from Star Wars. It should be noted that fans have been wanting a Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts since Disney acquired the former. The very idea of Sora facing off with Sith Lords and having a Keyblade variant of the lightsaber is intriguing, to say the least. As a result, this could very well be some wishful thinking for Kingdom Hearts 4, but it adds up. Seen above around the 435 timestamp, it's clear that wherever this is absolutely dominated by trees. Even looking at the size of them brings the Star Wars forest moon of Ender to mind, but the real kicker is a single shot from the trailer. As seen below, there appears to be a giant metal foot standing in the heavily wooded area seen in the top right of the image below/trailer above. The shape of it fits exactly what an AT-ST foot looks like. As many know, AT-STs are present during the Battle of Ender. This could suggest that a world featuring the events of Star Wars Return of the Jedi could somehow work itself into Kingdom Hearts 4's story. Organization 13 suggests that if Sora leaves Quadratum for another world, he won't be able to find his original one. This seems to be the primary story direction, at least for now, and this could involve Sora eventually leaving Quadratum to find nothing but a new host of Disney worlds for players to explore. If this is the case, then Star Wars fits perfectly into the game. If Luke Skywalker joins Sora as a companion here, it would no doubt be exciting for fans. Perhaps the overall story goes in another direction, but the fact that the place looks like Ender, and that there is something similar to an AT-ST foot in the trailer is going to keep us hoping and guessing for quite some time. As mentioned previously, Kingdom Hearts Quadratum is heavily based on modern-day Tokyo, with areas and districts like Shibuya being represented. Fans cross-reference the various landmarks and possible streets that were shown in the trailer to their real-world equivalents, such as the Shibuya Stream and a park in the background. It didn't take long for fans to figure out that Sora's apartment flat is in the residential area of Aoyama, one of the most expensive places one can live in Tokyo. This was broken down further, with fans again cross-referencing the photos shown of Sora's new apartment shown in Kingdom Hearts 4. It's seemingly modeled after an apartment in Aoyama that could be rented for 245,000 yen a month, or approximately $2,000. Funnily enough, the same fan pointed out it would cost over $1 million in order to buy the apartment itself. Many fans were incredibly amused that they were able to essentially dox where Sora would live in the real world by utilizing the Kingdom Hearts equivalent of Tokyo, and that the place that he is currently staying in is so incredibly expensive. Some fans were both joking and theorizing that Sora had either reincarnated as a millionaire, or his companion, who is heavily implied to be Strelitzia, came from a rich family. Regardless, while Kingdom Hearts 4 is still a ways away, there are already plenty of details that fans can find in this one trailer. With skyscrapers, highways, and dozens of cars scattered around its streets, Quadratum is indeed looking very realistic, yet what's shown in the trailer reportedly isn't representative of the final look. The report came from Famitsu, which explained that while the debut trailer video of Kingdom Hearts 4 is actually a real-time rendering in Unreal Engine 4, the full game is currently being developed in parallel using Unreal Engine 5. As a result, the final release of Kingdom Hearts 4 is expected to have a visual quality that is several levels higher than what the public can already see in the trailer video, particularly in the areas of lighting and details. The Japanese publication also claimed that the studio responsible for the development of Kingdom Hearts 4 is Square Enix's Osaka studio, led by co-director Yasushi Yaju, which is apparently the same team that made Kingdom Hearts 3. Seeing that the team is already familiar with Unreal Engine 4 during the development of Kingdom Hearts 3, making the transition to Epic's newest game engine should be easy enough for them. It is not confirmed to be cross-gen or current-gen only, and not also of specified platforms, so we have to wait on that one. While many fans have been anticipating the release of Kingdom Hearts 4, and the final update for Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, an unexpected title was also announced, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which surprised many gamers. In the trailer for Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, fans got to see a mysterious character in an Organization 13 coat walk down a road in Scala ad Selim. This character is likely Luciu since they held the no-name Keyblade, but could also be one of the people that inherited it from him over time. Another character, who has not been seen before, wears a white uniform as they walk over to Ephemer's statue and summon their Keyblade. This new character is revealed to be a protagonist of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, as gameplay is shown of them running around a city and fighting Heartless. Unlike the other mobile games in the Kingdom Hearts series, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link's gameplay shares a lot of similarities to console titles. As the gameplay portion of the trailer transitioned to show some of the locations in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, the playable character also changes. Whether the story will revolve around multiple protagonists, or if the game has character customization remains unknown as of now, but multiplayer has been confirmed. At the end of the trailer, fans also got to see Brain. This is the first time Brain has been shown outside of Kingdom Hearts Union X, revealing what he looks like in the series' more traditional art style. The trailer then transitioned to reveal Kingdom Hearts Missing Link's logo. It was also revealed that a closed beta will come out later this year, and that the game will be available on iOS and Android. With the final update of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road coming in August, and the hopes that more information about Kingdom Hearts 4 and Kingdom Hearts Missing Link will be revealed throughout 2022, fans have a lot to look forward to this year. While some players were hoping that a remake of Kingdom Hearts Union X for consoles would be announced during the 20th anniversary event, it's great that a mobile game that shares similarities to the console titles will be coming instead, giving players a brand new story that is said to resolve some of Kingdom Hearts' biggest mysteries. Kingdom Hearts Dark Road tells the story of how Xehanort became the main antagonist of the Dark Seeker saga, serving as a sequel to Kingdom Hearts Union X, and a prequel to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Kingdom Hearts Dark Road originally came out on June 22, 2020. The trailer for Kingdom Hearts Dark Road begins as Master Xehanort approaches the magic mirror from Dwarf Woodlands, asking if it recognizes him. It then transitions to showing Xehanort as a child in Scala ad Selim with his classmates, as they talk about why they want to become Keyblade Masters. Parts of their adventure throughout Kingdom Hearts Dark Road are shown afterward as they are in worlds such as Olympus and Agrabah. Many new characters are also introduced before Xehanort wakes up at the Keyblade graveyard to find the Master of Masters kneeling before him. This has a lot of fans excited as their relationship is one of the biggest mysteries at the moment, which will likely be revealed in Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Towards the end of the trailer, Xehanort asks Irakis what his dream is, which is to stay true to light, leading him to fight Xehanort once he decides to embark on his journey to find Kingdom Hearts as a seeker of darkness. The trailer ends by revealing that Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, which already had a couple of delays, will be released in August. Besides Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, 2 other titles were revealed during the 20th anniversary event. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is the next mobile game that will release, which will have its closed beta later this year. The last trailer that was shown was for Kingdom Hearts 4, which is in development. Fans of the series have a lot to look forward to throughout 2022 and beyond. Xehanort has always been one of the most interesting characters in the series, and a lot of fans have enjoyed learning more about him through Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. As the game comes to an end in August, the questions that we have about him will hopefully be answered. The 20th anniversary event of Kingdom Hearts was clearly highly anticipated by the RPG's fans, and Square Enix did not disappoint the community. What's more, those who were able to attend the event shared live updates with their fellow fans on social media, giving sneak peeks of what Square Enix has in store for the Kingdom Hearts community. This includes new 20th anniversary KH merchandise that can now be found on the Square Enix store. On the official website, a variety of new products have opened pre-orders as a way to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. Among the new merchandise, Play Arts Kai figures of Sora, Riku, and Kairi in their Kingdom Hearts 3 regalia can be pre-ordered by fans. Interested customers may also notice that included in the Play Arts Kai lineup is a figure of Namine, which fans will likely recall as Kairi's Nobody. The Sora and Riku figures will cost around $190 to $210 as they come with deluxe editions. Kairi is priced at $200 and Namine at $100. Square Enix is also offering plushies of Roxas, Namine, the Kingdom Hearts 2 versions of Sora and Riku, and Sora in his Halloween Town outfits. The plushies will cost fans $50 each. Other 20th anniversary merchandise include Kingdom Hearts jewelry, home products such as an elaborate plate collection, as well as small items such as an enamel pin, keychain, pin badge, and a bag with Mickey Mouse and Sora plushies. Though some bigger items may be priced higher, more affordable products are available for fans who are on a limited budget. The new Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary items seem like just the beginning of the festivities. With the rest of 2022 celebrating the franchise's milestone, Square Enix will likely announce more events, merchandise, and information for the whole fanbase to enjoy. Hopefully this includes the timeline for release of Kingdom Hearts 4 as well. The video game industry is full of unsubstantiated leaks, and gamers have learned to take any rumors, however exciting they may be, with a pinch of salt. The Nvidia leak way back in 2021 seemed too good to be true, with a very long list of unexpected PC ports, sequels, and remakes that were apparently in the works if it was to be believed. Now with the recent confirmation of Kingdom Hearts 4, it seems like more than a few of the titles featured on it have proved to be real. In late 2021, the gaming world was rocked by a massive leak from Nvidia GeForce Now's backend, which revealed a seemingly extensive list of planned PC ports. The list also included many titles that had yet to be announced, like Mortal Kombat 12, Gears of War 6, or a Final Fantasy IX remake, causing gamers to think they might be on their way. But these were all just rumors until Nvidia confirmed that list did in fact come from its own organization, but that it was in no way a list of confirmed ports, remakes, or upcoming games, and was instead part of a testing tool. A lot of what was here was said to be speculative. While much of the list is still yet to be confirmed and some entries even seem incredibly unlikely, there are enough games that have since been confirmed that make the Nvidia leak look more and more legit as the months go by. Although the list of games that have been confirmed after the extensive Nvidia leak is growing, there are still plenty that have yet to be announced. They range from heavily rumored to unlikely, with games like Street Fighter 6 basically confirmed to Titanfall 3 being well and truly on the back burner, if it comes at all. Other games featured in the Nvidia leak seem just as improbable, at least in regards to release window, like the next BioShock game from Cloud Chamber. While it has been confirmed to be on its way, the leak suggested it would have a 2022 launch window, which would be a big surprise if it turned out to be true. There are a number of PC ports featured in the link which also seem like they could take a while, if they happen at all. Horizon Zero Dawn may have made its way onto PC, but the sequel doesn't seem to have any immediate plans to make the jump. There are still many titles that haven't joined Kingdom Hearts 4 in the confirmed category yet, but gamers are still hopeful. Some are definitely more likely than others, and there are a number of sequels for popular series that are basically a sure thing. Games like XCOM 3, Monster Hunter 6, and Mortal Kombat 12 are highly anticipated, and it wouldn't be surprising if players hear about them in the coming months. There are also a number of leaks that hint at a Resident Evil 4 remake, something that seems increasingly possible given the success of the studio's other recent remakes. Final Fantasy IX could also follow in Final Fantasy VII's footsteps, and get a remake of its own, which would be great news for fans. Thanks to the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, the Nvidia leak has received renewed attention as players pore over the list to see what else might be announced next. The gradual confirmation of rumored titles from the list appears to add validity to its claims, and even the more unlikely revelations seem more and more possible. It will be interesting to see what the next few months bring, and which other games from the Nvidia leak find themselves moving from the unconfirmed category to the on-the-way list. Moving forward, the recent Epic Games State of Unreal showcase was packed with exciting news and surprising developments, and there has been a lot of news to unpack. Epic Games first showed off its game engine way back in 1998 with a look at its first-person shooter game Unreal. The engine's various iterations have been used in a multitude of genres by a variety of developers across the video game industry, from BioShock to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Unreal Engine has found its way into filmmaking, and has even been used as a virtual reality tool in medical research, showing its true versatility and range. Unreal Engine 5 was first announced back in 2020, with early access coming a year later. Now, Unreal Engine 5 has been officially released for developers to download, and this marks an exciting moment in video game development. Although Epic Games hasn't been shy when it comes to showing off what Unreal Engine 5 is capable of, the extended State of Unreal 2022 showcase earlier this month gave gamers a proper look at everything the game engine has to offer, as well as some exciting new announcements. The livestream event showed off several big developers that have adopted Unreal Engine 5 for upcoming projects, as well as a deeper dive into what makes the game engine so impressive, with a glimpse at a few of its technical aspects. Unreal Engine 5 has several key features that really help set it apart from previous iterations, as well as show off what the future of video games might look like thanks to its impressive photorealism and cutting-edge technology. Epic Games have called Unreal Engine 5 the world's most open and advanced real-time 3D creation tool, claiming that it gives developers the chance to push visual and technological boundaries within video games. This is an exciting time for both gamers and developers, as video games are becoming more and more visually impressive and technologically groundbreaking, and Unreal Engine 5 seems to be at the forefront of this. With some of the video games industry's biggest and most well-respected names confirming that they'll be using Unreal Engine 5 for their next projects, the more detailed look at just what this engine entails in the recent State of Unreal event was a welcome one for many gamers. Unreal Engine 5 have been given a few impressive outings, like in Epic Games' The Matrix Awakens cinematic demo released last year, and the UE5 demo showcase on the PlayStation 5 in 2020. However, the live stream gave fans the chance to learn what the engine was all about. The showcase demonstrated what the development community has been able to create with the use of Unreal Engine 5 since its early access launch in May 2021, showing off more of the impressive visuals that players have come to expect. Epic Games went into more detail about what makes Unreal Engine 5 tick, including its updated and easy-to-use user interface and improved performance. The aspects that really blew gamers away, and what the showcase did a great job of delving into, were the technologies involved in Unreal Engine 5. One of the foundational features of Unreal Engine 5 is Nanite, which is a virtualized micropolygon geometry system that allows games to import highly detailed photographic source material in order to create worlds that feel both realistic and comprehensively designed. Alongside Nanite is Lumen, which removes the need for designers to create a light map for specific scenes and calculates its own real-time light characteristics. Described as a fully dynamic global illumination solution that immediately reacts to scene and light changes, Lumen will work out realistic light reflections and corresponding shadows to help give games a realistic depth. Along with the full release of Unreal Engine 5, Epic Games also showed off its new multiplayer project named Lyra, which is a demonstration tool to show off everything that the game engine is capable of. While Lyra might have started off as a fairly basic shooter with average environments and generic character models, Unreal Engine 5's prowess was really showcased with the in-game editor mode. Unreal Engine 5's Lyra allowed for detailed light manipulation, scenery changes, and even a quick transition directly into gameplay to test it all out. Unreal Engine 5 is all about finding whole new approaches to transform the way content is made and experienced, and the Lyra presentation showed exactly how it is achieving this. As a part of Microsoft's E3 2021 showcase, Arcane Studios' newest title, Redfall, was revealed. Redfall is set to continue the studio's strong string of action-adventure releases. Players will take on legions of vampires in the town of Redfall, Massachusetts, either in solo play or in co-op with other gamers. While fans of Redfall shouldn't expect further news for some time, the game has been confirmed to use Unreal Engine 5. With its release window tentatively set for the middle portion of 2022, this could be one of the earliest opportunities for gamers to see what Unreal Engine 5 can do, but it all comes to the developer talent. Epic Games' own monumentally successful Fortnite has been confirmed to switch to Unreal Engine 5. When Chapter 3 debuted in December 2021, Fortnite confirmed that development shifted to Unreal Engine 5. So far, this has not resulted in any significant differences, however, that should change once the team grows more familiar with the new engine. Fortnite has never been considered a technical powerhouse of a game, but this move to Unreal Engine 5 should significantly increase the game's visual fidelity. A tech demo released close to the debut of The Matrix Resurrections, The Matrix Awakens showcases the incredible potential of Unreal Engine 5. Created with assistance from the Coalition, Epic's title puts fans into the heart of iconic scenes from the original movies, although the gameplay is mostly limited to the QuickTime events. As a demonstration of UE5, The Matrix Awakens more than does its job, and the demo is free, so PS5 and Xbox Series X and S owners have little reason to not experience this short project. Black Myth Wukong has impressed players since its initial reveal in 2020. The game is an adaptation of sorts of the beloved novel Journey to the West. The action-adventure game has exhibited an incredible level of visual detail and intense boss fights. In August 2021, it was confirmed that Black Myth is being developed with Unreal Engine 5, which no doubt added to the excitement surrounding the game. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 was confirmed to be in development in late 2019. There isn't a great deal known about the game yet, but it will be exclusive to Xbox platforms and use Unreal Engine 5. The first game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, was visually impressive, and its sequel is highly anticipated. Hellblade 2 has a much larger team, and combined with the power of Unreal Engine 5, players can expect an immersive experience. The gameplay reveal also heightened the hype for the game, showcasing sequences that could easily pass for cutscenes. Dragon Quest XII is set to be a departure for the series, as it won't feature traditional turn-based battles. Another change is that the new Dragon Quest will use Unreal Engine 5 for its development. This could have big implications for its world and overall story, especially so because the new entry is set to take the game in a darker direction. With a new game engine in tow and a different overall direction for the series, Dragon Quest XII could be a memorable entry in the acclaimed series. Stalker 2 was one of Microsoft's biggest reveals at E3 2021. Its debut trailer was lauded for its impressive visuals, and, perhaps unsurprisingly, Stalker 2 was confirmed to be in development with Unreal Engine 5. This is one of the most anticipated Unreal Engine 5 games, and could be a major tentpole release for Microsoft's platforms over the next few years. The engine seems to be a better fit for open-world projects compared to previous iterations, which explains why projects such as Stalker 2 have opted to use UE5. The long-awaited sequel was set to be released in December 2022, but development was put on hold due to the conflict in Ukraine. Graphics engines are an ever-evolving part of the video game industry, as companies like DICE and Epic Games are always looking to build on their respective engines so, in turn, other developers can bring their games to life. Epic Games' Unreal Engine 5, in particular, seems set to become one of the go-to graphics engines in the industry now that it is out in the wild. With this in mind, Gears of War developer The Coalition has given players a quick taste of what future games may look like running on the latest Unreal Engine. The Coalition, formerly known as Black Tusk Studios, is a Canadian-based developer and is currently part of Xbox Game Studios, serving as one of several studios creating games exclusively for Xbox platforms. It is best known for its work on the Gears of War series, effectively taking over the development of the series from Epic Games after Microsoft acquired the rights for the series in 2014. While its first work on the series was 2015's Gears of War Ultimate Edition Remaster, the studio's first new entry in the main series was 2016's Gears of War 4, followed by 2019's Gears 5 and 2020's turn-based tactics game, Gears Tactics. Given its history with Gears of War and former studio executives, such as Rod Ferguson, who came over from Epic Games, the Coalition is extremely familiar with the capabilities of Unreal Engine. The studio highlight this familiarity with its new cinematic test demo, The Cavern, running in real-time on Unreal Engine 5. In the video's description, the studio highlights how the engine can render movie-quality assets in extremely graphic detail, which the video gives a small taste of. As it relates to Gears of War though, The Cavern is just a taste of what players can expect from the series in the future. The Gears of War series has long been a poster franchise for Unreal Engine, with Epic highlighting advancements in the engine via Gears of War while it was still under Epic's ownership. While this may no longer be the case, the experience and familiarity the Coalition has with both Gears of War and Unreal Engine means players can expect striking visuals from Gears 6, whenever the game becomes a reality. Projekt Red took part in this stream, and gave some subtle insight into the development process of the next Witcher game. CDPR had recently announced it was switching from its own in-house game engine to Unreal Engine 5 to make the next highly anticipated game in the Witcher series. The Witcher developer had already developed its own game engine named Unreal Engine. This engine was used in multiple CDPR projects, most recently for Cyberpunk 2077, and is still being used for the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. It is unusual for a developer with its own in-house engine to switch to a third-party engine, especially for a signature property as lucrative as the Witcher series. CD Projekt Red used its time in the State of Unreal Developer Showcase to explain why it had made the switch to Unreal Engine for the next Witcher game. The decision to change engines came down to Unreal Engine 5's new focus on open-world game design rather than the linear games which earlier iterations of Unreal saw the most success with. As CD Projekt Red is famous for making large, open-world RPGs with many scenario-altering choices for the player to make in almost every mission and side quest, the developer really emphasized the importance of building such games on stable and reliable engines. Though never explicitly mentioned in the live stream, the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 was a game plagued with bugs and glitches since its infamous release back in 2020, likely has to do with CDPR's choice to switch game engines. CDPR's original Unreal Engine was first used for The Witcher 2, and has been heavily modified and updated in the years since, but the Unreal Engine never could quite keep up the same technical pace as other in-house developer engines such as Rockstar's Rage engine. The Witcher 3 was a famously glitchy game despite its critical acclaim, but it was Cyberpunk 2077 that may have proved that CDPR's creative vision as a developer had finally outgrown its technical software. In this case, it is a good thing that CDPR has made the switch to developing games on Unreal Engine 5. The public consensus based on reviews for CD Projekt Red's more recent games is that the developer excels in writing deep and often morally gray narratives for players to navigate, but is often let down on a technical side, with glitches and bugs that diminish otherwise perfectly crafted worlds. Moving to Unreal Engine 5 provides a sense of guaranteed stability for the game. This will not only allow CDPR to focus on its strengths in writing and characters, but will also reassure wary players that still feel somewhat burned after Cyberpunk 2077's release. Epic brought in people from various game development studios to hype Unreal Engine 5, with the biggest reveal coming from Crystal Dynamics' Dallas Dickinson, who is the franchise general manager at the studio. During the State of Unreal 2022 event, Dickinson confirmed that Crystal Dynamics has just started development on a new Tomb Raider game, and that it will be powered by Unreal Engine 5 to provide next-level storytelling and gameplay experiences. Dickinson explained that Crystal Dynamics' goal is to push the envelope of fidelity, and to deliver the high-quality cinematic action-adventure experience that fans deserve from both Crystal Dynamics and the Tomb Raider franchise. Unfortunately, further details on what this new Tomb Raider game will entail weren't shared during the event. But with it being built with Unreal Engine 5 in mind, fans can count on it likely only being available for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X instead of older consoles. Crystal Dynamics could go in a few different directions when it comes to the new Tomb Raider game. It's possible that it will continue where Shadow of the Tomb Raider left off, furthering the Tomb Raider reboot story. Alternatively, it could return to the original Tomb Raider timeline, or even reboot the series again. Whatever direction Crystal Dynamics decides to go with the new Tomb Raider game, it will likely be some time before we find out more information. Crystal Dynamics made it clear that development on the new Tomb Raider game has only just started, so it's reasonable to assume that it could be years before fans get a proper look at Lara Croft's next adventure, or it could be a remake of the first Tomb Raider game that came 25 years ago. Besides the fact that the game has just started development, fans also need to keep in mind that Crystal Dynamics is currently busy with other projects as well. Crystal Dynamics is still producing content for the Marvel's Avengers live service game, and it's also collaborating with the initiative on the Perfect Dark reboot. With that in mind, it's possible fans won't find out more about Tomb Raider until after those projects wrap up. In any case, Tomb Raider fans are likely excited to learn that Crystal Dynamics is making the next game in the series. After all, Crystal Dynamics was behind the critically acclaimed Tomb Raider reboot and its sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, while the slightly less popular Shadow of the Tomb Raider was made by Eidos Montreal instead. It will definitely be interesting to see what the studio is able to accomplish with a Tomb Raider experience powered by Unreal Engine 5. Days Gone director Jeff Ross just revealed that he had taken a position as design director at Crystal Dynamics' Washington studio. The former Days Gone director announced his new job on Twitter Tuesday morning Pacific Time. Ross stated that he is planning a move to Seattle this summer and expressed his excitement about the studio's upcoming project. Unfortunately, Ross wasn't able to say much about what precisely Crystal Dynamics' Washington studio is working on. One possibility is that he signed on to develop the new Tomb Raider game. However, his cryptic statements could indicate that Crystal Dynamics may have another new, unannounced game in the early stages of production. Jeff Ross has developed PlayStation games since the 1990s, having worked with the Oregon-based Bend Studio almost since its founding. Before the release of Days Gone in 2019, he was best known for the Siphon Filter series of third-person stealth shooters. He was one of the two most senior developers behind Days Gone, the other being writer and director John Garvin. Both men left Bend Studio in December 2020. Based on a USA Today interview from January, their departures were at least partly due to tensions with Sony executives, who were disappointed with Days Gone's performance and shot down a proposed sequel. Square Enix opened its Washington office, Crystal Northwest, in 2018. At the time, the studio's focus was on Marvel's Avengers, which Crystal Dynamics released in 2020. However, the recent hiring push and Ross's unwillingness to talk about specifics indicate that Crystal Dynamics has something new coming down the pipeline. It also may not be a coincidence that Ross revealed his new job the same day that Crystal Dynamics announced the next Tomb Raider game during Epic Games' State of Unreal 2022 showcase. Unfortunately, the studio's yet to confirm any details other than that the game is being developed with the new Unreal Engine 5. Jeff Ross' arrival is a big win for Crystal Dynamics, who have lost some important talent over the last few years. Perfect Dark's design director Drew Murray left the company last year. His replacement, former Tomb Raider director Dan Neuberger, followed suit in March. Meanwhile, Ross' experience with stealth action games like Siphon Filter could make him a good fit for the Perfect Dark reboot or the next Tomb Raider. Hopefully, fans of both franchises will get more information soon. Namely, it appears that both CD Projekt Red and Crystal Dynamics are going back to their more popular franchises after their latest mishaps. Both Marvel's Avengers and Cyberpunk 2077 were heavily criticized at launch, and while both games have improved and added new content since then, many may not have as much faith in these two developers as before. It would be a stretch to say it's intentional, but on the surface, it appears that CD Projekt Red and Crystal Dynamics are making these announcements because they are guaranteed successes. A successful new Witcher and Tomb Raider game on Unreal Engine 5 would do a lot to gain back fans lost by Cyberpunk 2077 or Avengers. It could have always been the plan to go back to The Witcher and to Tomb Raider after their predecessors. That would be more than understandable, but it certainly looks more along the lines of a last game was not great, so let's use this franchise power in this announcement. Announcing new titles on Unreal Engine 5 is also likely just to sell the idea of UE5, not that it's especially needed, but there's also the idea that these games are still likely years away, adding to this overall appearance. It's not the first time a tactic like this has been seemingly used. Video game announcements, even brief confirmations, build a lot of hype and improve the perception of a developer. That's true. Just as video game delays, however needed or good they are, tend to have a negative reaction, announcements tend to have a positive reaction. Using that hype for more than just the new game, but to bring some positivity back, isn't altogether uncommon. For example, many postulate that the Elder Scrolls SIXS announcement was to pull away from the negativity surrounding Fallout 70 SIXS announcement and launch. While this cannot be proved, the fact that Elder Scrolls 6 is still years away says something. Another good example is the recent Grand Theft Auto 6 announcement, which followed a rare rocky road for Rockstar Games, and all announcements like these have the benefit of detracting from existing negativity. It's not the perfect 1:1 comparison, but Anthem's cancellation means that BioWare is sticking to its guns, with the company focusing on the next Dragon Age and Mass Effect games. Absolutely, even after Anthem's downfall, many are looking forward to these two games. The short of it is that, many times, companies have returned to a more reliable, high-profile IP after a new one doesn't hit the market needs. The problem with this is that new video game IPs breathe new life into the industry. For all of their shortcomings, Anthem, Cyberpunk 2077, and a big Marvel's Avengers live service game were something new for fans. Sequels are great, needed, and popular for a reason, but hopefully, this doesn't happen enough that the idea of new IPs in the gaming industry becomes even more daunting. Now, let's talk about the BAFTA Game Awards 2022 and the domination of PlayStation. It seemed at 2022's BAFTAs that the sci-fi shooter Returnal was the big winner, as the game picked up the Best Game award during the ceremony. A third-person shooter with some psychological horror elements, Returnal sees players take on the role of Celine Vassos, who disobeys the orders of the ASTRA Corporation in order to follow a strangely familiar signal known as White Shadow. The game was met with a favorable reception, with gamers praising how Returnal's gameplay was complementary of its story and world. Alongside being nominated for Best Game, Returnal was up for awards for Audio Achievement, Music, Technical Achievement, Original Property, Performer in a Leading Role, Narrative, Artistic Achievement, and Game Design. Of these nominations, Returnal took home 4 BAFTAs. Returnal won Audio Achievement, Best Game and Music, and Performer in a Leading Role for Jane Perry, winning her first BAFTA. However, for many, the Best Game award will be seen as the most prestigious of these prizes, as it marks Returnal as BAFTA's Game to Play of 2021. The game was also up against some of 2021's most popular titles like It Takes Two and Deathloop, with the former taking home multiple awards as well. Returnal was also up against some smaller titles in addition to the larger games of 2021. It lost the narrative award to Indie Game Unpacking, a title that focuses on a player moving into an empty room and unpacking boxes, slowly learning more about the story and the character they're playing as. Some thought that Unpacking was snubbed at the 2021 Game Awards, though those fans of the title will be glad to see it recognized at the BAFTAs this year. Despite impressive reviews and awards pickups, it seems that Returnal developer Housemarque is far from done with the game. A recent update released at the end of March brought co-op to Returnal, perhaps making the horror elements a bit less scary when the game is played with friends. The Ascension update also brought about a new game mode which brings about endless challenges, as well as new story elements, weapons, and a sixth boss. Two games won 2 BAFTAs each. It Takes Two won multiplayer and original property, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart won animation and technical achievement. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart won several technical achievement and animation awards on several occasions, and Insomniac Games deserves it for what a next-gen experience Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is, and also Returnal did great too. Kimberly Brooks is another first-time performance winner, taking home the BAFTA for performer in a supporting role for her role as Hollis Forsyth in Psychonauts 2. TOEM, the hand-drawn adventure game, won the debut category. Artistic achievement was won by The Artful Escape, the game about a guitar prodigy who sets out on a psychedelic journey to inspire his stage persona and confront the legacy of a dead folk legend. Forza Horizon 5 won British Game, the second BAFTA for the racing franchise that has been nominated in every year of release. Evolving Game was won by No Man's Sky, the game about exploration and survival in an infinite procedurally generated galaxy. The top-down action-adventure game Chicory A Colorful Tale won Family Game of the Year. Game Beyond Entertainment, the category that recognizes games that deliver a transformational experience beyond pure entertainment, was won by Before Your Eyes, the narrative adventure game that tells the story of a soul's journey into the afterlife. Game Design was won by Inscription, the card-based game that blends deck-building roguelike, escape room-style puzzles, and psychological horror. Unpacking, the game about taking things out of boxes and discovering a life in the process, won the BAFTA for narrative as well as EE Game of the Year, the only award voted for by the public. It is good to see these titles get recognized, and I'm glad that Returnal and Ratchet got their respect they deserved. Before it was known for Alan Wake and Control, Remedy Entertainment was best known for its work on the Max Payne games. Remedy developed the first 2 games in the groundbreaking third-person shooter series, with Rockstar Games taking over for Max Payne 3. Now it seems fans will soon have the chance to revisit the first 2 Max Payne games, as Remedy and Rockstar have announced a partnership to remake both Max Payne and Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne. Max Payne fans should expect much more than a simple upgrade. The Max Payne remakes will be full-blown AAA video game productions, with Rockstar Games providing the budget and Remedy handling development. The games will be built using Remedy's Northlight engine, which it used to make the critically acclaimed Control. It sounds like Remedy Entertainment is looking to really go all out with the Max Payne remakes, as the games will be skipping PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The Max Payne remakes, whenever they come out, will only be available for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S consoles, and PC. This should allow Remedy to have a lot more freedom when it comes to the remake's graphics and what can be accomplished from a gameplay standpoint. It remains to be seen exactly when these Max Payne remakes will be shown off, as this seems to be a relatively new deal between Remedy and Rockstar. Not only that, but both companies are currently busy on other projects at the moment. Rockstar is still producing new content for Grand Theft Auto Online, while working on Grand Theft Auto 6, and Remedy is busy with multiple projects, including the upcoming Alan Wake 2. It likely depends on how ambitious the scope is for these new Max Payne projects, and if they wind up taking priority over the other games that Remedy has started. The Alan Wake 2 release date is expected to be sometime in 2023, so that game is likely deep in development at this point. But one has to wonder if Remedy's other, less developed titles may get pushed aside so that it can focus on the Max Payne remakes. It's been a long time since either Remedy Entertainment or Rockstar Games have interacted with the Max Payne franchise. In recent memory, Remedy has mostly been busy with expanding the universe of its acclaimed paranormal action-adventure title Control. Meanwhile, Rockstar Games has been hard at work supporting the Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption games, both of which have flourished in the last several years. Now, however, the time has come for the return of Max Payne. The announcement of the Max Payne remakes is remarkable, and not just because Remedy hasn't worked on a Max Payne game in more than a decade. The announcement also comes at a time when Remedy has a lot going on. While it's working on the Max Payne remakes, Remedy will be juggling a few important projects that belong to Alan Wake and Control's shared universe, as well as a mysterious shooter simply known as Vanguard. It's great to see Remedy working on so many promising projects, but the studio has to avoid biting off more than it can chew. There's a lot of growth happening around the supernatural universe that Control and Alan Wake both inhabit. Not only did Remedy just release Alan Wake Remastered, but it's currently working on a second attempt at Alan Wake 2, which is slated for release in 2023. Remedy didn't provide many details when announcing Alan Wake 2, but apparently it'll lean into the survival horror genre, and players won't have to have played the first Alan Wake in order to understand the sequel. The latter claim could be a tall order, given how Alan Wake lore has changed recently, but Remedy's storytelling skills are cause for optimism. While Alan Wake flourishes, Control is building towards major growth too. Considering how beloved the first Control was, it's no surprise that Remedy plans to make a Control sequel. The first game's ending leaves plenty of story threads to pick up in a sequel. It's merely a matter of deciding what cosmic force or human threat to the Bureau motivates Jesse Faden to take action once again. Regardless of the game's plot, with the help of a direct sequel to Control, Jessie will cement her place as a leading icon of Remedy's video game catalog. Notably, a direct sequel isn't all that Control fans have to look forward to. Apparently Remedy is also working on a multiplayer Control spin-off, which is codenamed Condor for now. Remedy hasn't indicated anything concrete about the game, but since the game shares the Alan Wake and Control universe, it wouldn't be surprising if it casts players as operatives for the Federal Bureau of Control, investigating supernatural creatures and altered world events. That type of multiplayer co-op has a lot of potential for both interesting storytelling and compelling gameplay within the Control universe, but since the game's announcement is fairly fresh, it could be quite some time before fans find out if that's what Remedy has in mind. On top of all these Alan Wake and Control games, Remedy still has Vanguard in development. Vanguard is a multiplayer co-op PvE shooter that will be free to play, and has ties to video game investing giant Tencent. Remedy is apparently interested in making Vanguard a game as a service, but gameplay doesn't get much more concrete than that. All in all, it sounds like Vanguard is yet another ambitious project, in spite of its supposedly small development team, meaning Remedy has a lot on its hands in total. Somehow, Remedy intends to develop remakes for both of its Max Payne games in the midst of all this other work. Financial support from Rockstar ought to go a long way, and that support could mean that Max Payne's return is an opportunity for Remedy to expand even more than it already has in the last few years. What's more, if the Max Payne remakes do well, then it could give Rockstar and Remedy cause to collaborate on a fourth Max Payne game, or even to create spin-offs that expand the game's universe. There's a lot to be gained from these remakes. Still, Remedy needs to be careful. The studio has accomplished a lot in its lifetime, but it isn't accustomed to working on so many things at once. It'll need to make sure that every one of its projects has the right amount of support, or else many of its promising games could falter. It would be a shame if the Control sequel's quality faltered because Remedy needed to pull staff away from it to support the Max Payne remakes, or vice versa. Remedy's next few years will be a careful balancing act. There are definitely risks involved in working on so many important projects at once, but if Remedy can pull it off, then it stands to gain a lot. Not only could it bring on a new generation of Alan Wake and Max Payne games, but its younger IPs could flourish into powerful franchises of their own. With its hands on so many well-loved franchises, Remedy could become more of a heavy hitter in the game industry than ever. It's just a matter of execution. Beyond the big picture, it's simply good to see Max Payne make a comeback. The original Max Payne games are still striking titles with strong gunplay and storytelling framed through a noir graphic novel lens. Those elements are more than worthy of being celebrated with remakes, especially in a time when so many dormant franchises are making comebacks. Remedy and Rockstar haven't provided release dates for the Max Payne remakes just yet, and due to Remedy's other projects, it wouldn't be surprising if it takes a couple of years for these games to come around. Nevertheless, the Max Payne remakes ought to be solid additions to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X when they finally release. At GDC 2022, Sony showcased the upcoming PlayStation VR 2, PSVR 2, virtual reality headset to game developers. The news was first shared by Chet Falasek. Falasek is a veteran game writer-designer known for his work on games like Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, Portal, and its sequel, Left 4 Dead, and its sequel. During his career at Valve, though, he also worked as a VR ambassador with outside developers and marketing for the launch of the original HTC Vive and the Steam VR platform. After leaving Valve, he joined the advisory board of Vertigo Games, the Dutch VR developer behind hit virtual reality games like Arizona Sunshine, The Anacrusis, and After the Fall. Falasek's tweet was promptly reported on the Reset Era board, where another game developer raved on the PSVR 2. Reset Era user M0Dus, a verified employee of Truant Pixel, commented the statement as not hyperbolic. Truant Pixel is working on Runner, a retrofuturistic anime-inspired VR arcade driving action game that will be released on PC, Steam, and PSVR 2. These are the very first third-party impressions of the next-generation PlayStation VR headset, which Sony is unveiling at a slow but steady pace. To begin with, the company focused on the new controllers, then Sony revealed the first exclusive PSVR 2 game, Horizon Call of the Mountain, co-developed by Guerrilla Games and Firesprite. At last, in late February we got to see the final design of the upcoming VR headset. It is still unclear whether the PSVR 2 will launch late this year or not. Earlier rumors suggested it might, but plans could have shifted since. Horizon Forbidden West saw a fairly positive reception when it launched in February, and publisher Sony and developer Guerrilla Games already announced a sequel. Unfortunately, fans don't know much about the upcoming Horizon Call of the Mountain. However, Guerrilla Games has revealed that it's a VR spin-off with a new protagonist and set many years after the events of Forbidden West. However, those may not be the only things that are different about Horizon Call of the Mountain. Trademark filings indicate that the game may be a streaming exclusive, with no option for players to download it. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization's database, Sony Interactive Entertainment filed international trademark documents for Horizon Call of the Mountain in early January. This is standard practice for a new intellectual property. However, Sony's chosen to file Call of the Mountain under the category of non-downloadable game software. This is a subset of a Class 41 trademark, which generally applies to non-interactive educational content, but also covers certain video streaming services and television programs. Sony also filed the trademark under Class 9, which covers all computer programs, in addition to Class 41 as mentioned above. Neither of these categories is surprising on their own, with Microsoft's Halo Infinite falling into the same classes. However, Infinite's Class 9 description focuses on the subsection that applies to sporting and cultural activities. The filing for Horizon Call of the Mountain, meanwhile, specifically uses terms like online, web-based, and non-downloadable. It is worth noting that Sony describes Horizon Call of the Mountain as downloadable in the trademark's Class 9 description. One explanation for this apparent contradiction is that players can choose to either download Call of the Mountain or stream it from a central server. However, Halo Infinite is also available for both download and streaming, but its trademark didn't need to be filed under both software categories. Another possible explanation is that players have an option to stream Horizon Call of the Mountain without subscribing to a larger service, as is required to stream Halo Infinite. However, that is simply speculation. It would be too early to say that this trademark filing confirms that Horizon Call of the Mountain is a streaming exclusive. However, the fact that fans know so little about the game leaves open the door for speculation. Besides a brief blog post and short video released in January, the public has little to go on. Neither gives much information beyond the above-mentioned new protagonist, new time period, and that it will be optimized for the PlayStation VR 2. Hopefully, Sony will come out with more details before too much longer, and I hope it is downloadable. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.